welcome to Knox Community Schools podcast, Telling Our Story. Welcome to another podcast for Knox Community Schools, Telling Our Story. I'm your host, Mr. Mikulich, Superintendent here at Knox, and we want to be intentional about the great things that our staff members are doing every day to impact our students and our community in a positive way. Before we get to our first guest, quick little upcoming events. We know that December 23rd starts winter break. So we're definitely looking forward to that. The teachers return on January 6th, and students return on Tuesday, January 7th. Also, a reminder to everyone that President's Day, which is February 17th, we will be in school that day. The calendar says that is a makeup day, but that's a makeup day from the very first day of school. So we will be in session on February 17th. And speaking of upcoming events and our guest here, we have Mr. Neill Minix. How are we doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And before we get into you, talk a little bit about winter break and all of the events we have going on.
Yeah, so our last day will be for students and staff will be Friday, December 20th. That night, we rescheduled our North Judson game with both teams winning a sectional championship in football. We had to cancel that first meeting that was supposed to be before Thanksgiving. So they will play now on 12/20, and that will be a 4:30 p.m. start for JV. So JV will start at 4:30 with varsity to follow, and that'll kind of kick off our winter break. And then on Saturday, 12/21, our wrestling team will head to LaVille for our conference meet. And then also that evening, our boys basketball will be back in action as they head to Morgan Township for a 5 o'clock JV start. Then a few days off with Christmas and everything, and the boys and girls basketball team will be back at it on December 27th. They will play at Plymouth. They're having a holiday tournament there in Plymouth, and it'll be for boys, JV and varsity, and for girls, varsity only. That'll be a 2-day tournament. They'll play one game on the 27th, and then the next day, win or lose, they'll come back and play either in the championship or consolation game on the 28th. So a couple big days for them. A lot of those are times to be announced yet. I know the first day on the 27th, it's a morning game, and then the next day, it's JV will play in the morning and afternoon for the varsity teams. Then on 1/4, our wrestling team will head to New Prairie. They have a pretty big invite for wrestling, and that'll be on January 4th, and that will start at 8 a.m.
All right, very good. Well, best of luck to all of our athletic teams over winter break here, as that is rapidly approaching. So, Mr. Minix, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, A little bit about you first. You graduated from Knox in 1997. You became a teacher in 2008. You were a teacher until 2023 when you switched over to athletic director. And you were also the head girls basketball coach for 9 years. Talk a little bit about that success there.
Yeah, we started coaching girls basketball, and I was originally a football coach here, and then just having girls myself, kind of got involved with that. And
I did not know that.
Yes, so I was on the high school staff for a few years, middle school for a few years, and then once, like I said, had daughters, and as they start getting older, I switched and kind of helped them out, and then coached middle school with us for a while, boys basketball for varsity assistant for a year, and then became the girls coach and was there 9 years. We had a pretty good run, won 3 sectionals, made 4 sectional championships in a row, won 3 in a row. I think good little stretch of 4 years of, I believe our record was like 88-15, I think, over those, give or take a game or two. I don't know exactly, but so, like I said, when those sectional championships had some good athletes come through, have just continued to build on that, and did well there.
Well, very good, very good. Let's switch over to our athletic program. We got some great things going on, and that's why I want to bring you on. First of all, let's talk about our football all-state recognitions. Football team won sectional, had a tough loss there in regional.
Yes.
But that doesn't take away from our all-state football players.
Correct, yeah. They won their 3rd sectional in a row and came up 1 point short of another regional championship, so another successful season for them. Their 4 all-state players are Noah Bolin, senior, Tucker Burns, a junior, and then Miles McLaughlin, a junior, and Jake Conroy, senior.
That's awesome. And to get that recognition, that's not only great for those individuals and the program, but, for Knox Community Schools, helps put us on the map.
Yes, I agree. And, that's just the hard work, they put in over the years and, setting that goal of making all conference and all state and stuff. And to get 4 on there is quite a big accomplishment for sure.
We talk about, leadership and those students doing great things. Let's take that to the entire athletic program. You got us involved in something called LEAD, which is learning to execute appropriate decisions for our students. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a mentorship. So we have a athletic student advisory. Richard Warren, who was AD here before me, he kind of started it with them, and then I just continued. And so what it is, we take a girl and a boy from every class. So we have 8. Two per class. We have eight kids on it, and what they do is we meet together about just talking about maybe some cheer block themes and things like that, and about leadership and how can we maybe get more students involved. How can we get more numbers for athletics? What are some things? Another thing we talk to them about is, sometimes here with athletics, it gets a lot when they're playing all 3 seasons and our summer stuff overlaps and things like that. So just kind of getting their opinion of, would they rather do, 2 in a day or be every day, things like that. So we're trying to hear their voice kind of a little bit and make it best for them. They have to be good leaders, be in multiple sports, and have to, have good grades, of course. So we started talking and they came up with this mentorship. So what they're going to do is we're going to go and meet with middle school students. So we had that planned yesterday for our first one, and with the delay yesterday, we didn't have SRT, so we weren't able to go. So I'll get with them for a day for next week. So we'll get over there, and the first time just kind of talking to the middle school kids. But our main goal is just to kind of be around those middle school kids and kind of teach them, how to act on the field, off the field, keeping the grades up, time management, just things that all these kids have to do that in middle school you don't really realize until you get to high school how much it is. So that'll be something to help them along, and they'll have someone there when they come into high school, like, hey, I know that person, and someone to go to that they kind of know and can help them along. And then, we'll do more stuff where they talked about having like a, game night with them, and it's just doing different things to try to get more people involved in athletics.
That's awesome. I think, developing that leadership, I always say any extracurricular is so beneficial to students because it does teach you that time management. I think that this is a program that will also impact our numbers.
Yes.
You can never have enough kids out for any extracurricular,
yep.
That we have. And they always say that, a kid that's out for an extracurricular, there's a direct link with school and they're going to do better because of that.
Yeah, and I agree. And, it's one of those things where it's a little intimidating if you come in as a freshman and you're playing, you're 14 years old and playing against 18-year-olds or practicing with them, and you don't really know them. You're kind of nervous. That's where I think Russ does a great job with football. You're getting to, having the weight room open and having those younger kids come. They kind of know those kids. So it really is you get that familiar feel where the other sports, it's hard to do that because they're both playing at the same time. You don't really have time to get them together and things like that.
Developing that relationship is so important.
Yep.
And speaking of numbers and relationships and everything else, at the end of the school year, last year, we kind of had a goal of our coaches doing camps, right? Really making a focus on involving our youth into our programs. Give us a little update on, the camps that occur. I think we had a goal of every athletic team having some type of camp. Give us a little update.
Yeah, it was hard. We're going to see what we can do in the future for like golf or something like that, because it's hard to have a camp maybe, but we were thinking of having some days where we could maybe have them come, like open gyms, you would say, in the gym, but like just come to get a club in their hand to try out stuff, but not maybe a formal camp. But tennis, Mark Crom did a nice camp with all the tennis kids. That went well. I think he had close to 30 kids. Awesome. Then basketball camps, the girls, and then the boys and girls just wrapped up camp 6 weeks. They every Saturday they would come. The students would the athletes would be their coaches as well as other coaches. So Coach Adcock, Coach Breeden, and then that was led our elementary teachers and high school teacher Leslie Condon, and then Jill and Ryan Marsh did a nice job of helping out with that and getting everything organized and being there every week, because it gets hard for the coaches because it's during their season. But we at the girls game and boys game this week, we invited the those players, if they wore their camp T-shirt, they got in the game for free. And there were quite a few of them. And we introduced them at halftime, and they went out in the middle of the court and just got together and let everybody see them. And then afterward, high school athletes stuck around and signed autographs for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they love that. The little kids, you can see, they were a couple of them I saw like asking their parents and asking a certain player, can you ask, so and so if I can get a picture with them? So it was very good getting those kids involved in the high school kids. We appreciate them doing that after a game, to come out there and just be involved.
And that's building that program, right? I think that's so important, getting those youth involved in what we're doing, so that they can hopefully carry that tradition, as they go through our program.
Yes, yep, and then football camp last year went well. They had a lot of kids, I think 70 some, and so it's we're trying. It's getting it going a little at a time, and the next step for us is track and cross country. Like to get something together for them and just get kids to get out and something to do in the summertime.
Awesome. As we're trying to build that program with our youth, we also transition into the Hall of Fame induction, right? Yes. And that's coming up here, which is awesome. Now we're getting to the community involvement, right? Our alumni involvement into our athletic program. Talk about that for a little bit.
Correct. In the last couple of weeks, we've sent out invites because we knew when the game was. So we scheduled the game for January 18th versus Twin Lakes. It's a 5 o'clock JV start. We'll do the induction in between the games. So after the JV game, we'll have the Redskin room open there with food in there. So past Hall of Fame inductees can come in and gather and talk and, just catch up on some old times. And then we'll induct our new members. That's January 18th versus Twin Lakes boys game. And then our new members this year are Mita Sullivan. She's been a teacher here. And this is a little fun fact here. So Mita, she's been doing close to 40 years. She's been here almost 50, but 40 years she's been the host during football and basketball games. So the officials, they're coming to her and she's putting them where they need to go, and she's a huge help to me as well. And I really appreciate her over the years. And, she's known as they say the woman in the red jacket. And a lot of times officials will contact me, or where they've actually sent in official write-ups to the state for good, like it's under good sportsmanship, but they want to tell what a great job Mita did with them and stuff. But the fun fact here is the other inductees, Danny Bradley, who's a wrestler here, graduated around 2010. And then Corey Mason, he's our assistant principal at the elementary school, 3-sport athlete. And Daniel Jacobs, another wrestler, and football is his two main sports. But Mita had all three of them as kindergartners.
Wow.
So we were talking, when I told her the names when she got the letter, she started asking. And the only one she was not positive about, there was one. She said, I think I did, but it's a long time ago. And I checked, and sure enough, so all three members have been in her classroom in kindergarten.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. Really, really cool. That'll be good ceremony for us.
Yes, I agree.
And talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame and the process. How does the process work to be on the Hall of Fame? Yeah,
so we do that every 2 years. So every odd year, basically, because this will be 2025, and then so again in January of 2027 or February, I guess it could be. We'll be the next one. But to be elected to the Hall of Fame, there is on our school website under athletics, there's a form you can fill out, and all the instructions are right there of how to induct somebody. Then there's questions, and then you put their accomplishments. And then as an athletic director, my main job is just to get everything organized and packets we have a committee of people. I meet with that committee. So like I said, my job is to set up meetings and get a hold of the committee, and then present every nomination that I receive goes into a certain packet, and then I have enough copies for everybody. They kind of go through the process, and then this is my first time doing it, so I wasn't exactly sure how they did, but I watched, and good discussion. They kind of said, pick your top. We pick 4 at the most. It doesn't have to be 4, but 4 is the most we do. I think they picked their top 6, and then they went from there, and I think all of them had, about the same 6. I think one person had different, but anyway, they had good discussion, and then they narrowed it down to 4, and those are the 4 they came up with. So it's not just thrown together. It was 3 or 4 meetings and talking about different accomplishments and different things and of the nominees and things like that, and they work well together. They've been doing it for years, and they came up with the 4 for this year.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to those 4 Hall of Fame inductees. Definitely wish them the best of luck and have a good night there. Also, I want to go back just real quick and thank all of our coaches for the camps. They do take that extra time away from their families, and to help support our kids and build our program. So just want to thank them for that.
Yeah, they'd appreciate that. It is, like you said, it's the hours they put in, not just coaching and scouting and watching film and this and that, but then to do that for young kids. And it's I went to every camp and just watching the coaches interact with them. It's kids love it. They can't wait for those days. Some parents contact me about how especially in the summer, if they had early one, how easy it is to get the kid up at that day because they're so excited to get to this camp.
A little bit about you, athletic director-wise. You spend a lot of time here, right? I mean, organizing and all of the events, and I know that you try to get to everything that you possibly can. But do you have any hobbies outside, when you're not here with our kids?
Honestly, just sports. I mean, because it's just been so involved here through the years with coaching and things like that. And just I'd say since I am here a lot of my hobbies are like going with my family, on vacation with family and friends, or just being with them because during the school year I don't spend a ton of time with them because I'm here doing things, and so vacation a little bit like that. And then I would say just with friends a few times a year we'll go out and golf, so golf here and there. So just family time and a little bit of extracurricular, golfing and things like that, and that's about it.
Well, very good.
Real quick, so I didn't say it earlier because I wasn't sure on the date for swim and dive. I didn't know it's the 21st. So over break we were talking about our events. Swimming and dive has a invite at Rensselaer on Saturday, December 21st.
Okay, very good.
I knew I couldn't remember if it was that the next week, so I didn't want to say early, and then I had to check it on my phone real quick. So the 21st.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, thank you for having me.
Appreciate that. And to all of our listeners, we wish you a wonderful holiday season. Thank you for listening to another episode of Telling Our Story podcast here at Knox Community Schools. Our goal is to do one podcast each week highlighting the amazing things that our staff is doing. Thank you for listening to Knox Community Schools podcast, Telling Our Story.